Hey guys, how's it going? Jiggy here, back with another video. So what I have today for you guys is a Nightmare Zone guide for 43 prayer and 1 defense pures. So let's get into it. Alright then guys, before we get into Nightmare Zone and the quests needed to start it, let's have a look at my inventory and let's go through everything. So I've got 2 sets of gear right here. I've got the cheaper set and the more expensive set. Now the main difference between these 2 sets is prayer bonus and strength bonus. Prayer and strength bonus are really important in Nightmare Zone, especially your prayer bonus. The more prayer points you're going to have, the longer you'll be able to last. So let's gear up and I'll show you the differences. Right, so this is the first setup. As you can see, I've got 28 prayer points, standard stuff. This whole setup, including the book, only costs about 550k, which isn't too much. So let's move on to the next setup, and yeah. So as you can see on this setup, there is some slight differences, especially to my prayer and strength bonus. As you can see, my prayer bonus compared to the other set has gone up by 5 points, and my strength has gone up quite significantly as well, which is quite important. Regarding the warrior ring, it only costs around 400 or 350k, but to imbue it, it definitely is worth it, as it gives 4 extra slash bonus, and definitely will come in. I'd roughly say that this setup costs about 8 mil, but it definitely is worth it because this is the best setup any pure can have. Alright then guys, so this is what you want your inventory to look like, especially if you have a very similar prayer bonus to me, which is 33. If you've got max prayer bonus similar to myself, you would want to have 20 prayer potions and 7 overloads with a dragon 2-hander sword. Now if your prayer points are lower than mine, I'd say anywhere from 25 to 30, you'd want to get rid of a few prayer potions and replace them with overloads, as that will see you out for the full trip. Now the dragon 2-hander sword is very important, especially for XP per hour, as this hits multiple targets at once, which is very important, especially when you get a power surge. Now power surge gives you unlimited special attacks, so you can keep spamming your special attack and hitting multiple targets, which will definitely increase your XP per hour. If you're concerned about not having overloads and this is your first time at Nightmare Zone, don't worry. What you should do is take a few strength and attack potions just for the first trip, and then you'll be able to go to your reward shop and buy overloads with your reward points and then collect them from here. So that's nice to know. So yeah. Right, so once you're all set up like me with your inventory and gear, what you want to do is come over here and talk to this woman and click Dream. What you want to do is select the Rumble Hard option. It will cost 26k, and if you don't have any money, what you can do is deposit money into this this coffee here, and it will automatically take it out every time you click Dream. So before we get inside Nightmare Zone, let's click Drink the Potion, and here it will show what quest and quest bosses you'll be fighting. As you can see, I've got 6 quest bosses ticked, and I have a few unticked which are too faffy and just take too long to kill. Now you'd want to copy these exact bosses, and if not, these are the quests you definitely need to do, as you need 5 quest bosses completed to even do Nightmare Zone. So I'll show a list of the quests needed now, which are mandatory to even start. Now I highly recommend copying the quest bosses I have ticked and crossed. If you don't have all 6 what I have ticked, get rid of the black demon or something like that, and just make sure you've got 5 semi-easy bosses which you can kill with no problem. So yeah. Now once you get into Nightmare Zone and you pot up using an overload, you can just basically go AFK for 5 minutes, just chill out. As long as you keep on top of your prayer points, you'll be fine and you won't die. So that's basically it. What I'll do, I'll put a link in the description which calculates how quick your prayer will drain depending on your prayer points and your prayer level, so that'll be very helpful for you. I recommend only using Protect from melee because otherwise it will just drain too quick. and your trip won't last for roughly around 2.5 hours, which is very nice. Now after a bit of time in Nightmare Zone, you will see power-ups which will just pop up, especially in rumble mode. Now you'll get 4 different types of power-ups. You'll get Reoccurring Damage, a Zapper, Power Surge and Ultimate Force. As you can see here, a Power Surge has just popped up, and as I'm using a D2H for my spec weapon, I need 2 inventory spaces free. So what I'll do, I'll drop a prayer potion, equip my dragon 2-hander, spec, and then I'll activate this Power Surge. Now once I've activated this, I'll have unlimited spec, and now I can just spec, keep spec in, and as you can see I'm hitting multiple targets at once, getting big XP drops. Now this is really important, it'll definitely help your XP per hour. It's also very handy, the more monsters you have around you, the better. So you want to get in a location where you can hit every single monster what spawns. Sometimes it's quite difficult, especially if you're fighting some bigger monsters such as Black Demon. But this power up is definitely one of the best. The second power up you definitely want to be using all the time is the Reoccurring Damage. Reoccurring Damage, which is activated right now, is really helpful. As you can see, every time I hit, it will deal 75% damage extra after my hit, which is really helpful for points per hour. It won't increase your strength XP per hour though. Now the third power up you really want to look out for is the Zapper. What the Zapper does, if I activate it right now, it hit multiple targets around you all at once. What you want to do is get them spawned right on top of it. Now what will this do, is really increase your points per hour, as it will kill loads of monsters all at once for you, but it won't increase your XP per hour. But it's definitely really helpful, especially if, well, it's just really helpful. Now the only power up you don't really want to activate is Ultimate Force, which is a white spawn. This will just kill all the monsters all at once. You won't gain any extra points and you won't gain any extra XP for it. The only time you really want to use that is in case you have a load of really hard monsters such as the Black Demon bosses. You'd want to use it maybe on them if you've got 4 spawned all around you, but otherwise you don't really want to be using that. Make sure you get all 3 apart from Ultimate Force as soon as they spawn, as it will really increase your points per hour, and the Power Surge will definitely increase your XP per hour if you've got a nice spec weapon like myself. Now for XP and points per hour, it does vary from player to player, mainly depending on your setup and your strength level. However, I did test it with this setup and my strength level at the moment, which is 95 boosted to 114, and I got roughly 65k XP per hour and rounding up 300k points per hour. I'll put a link in the description of me testing Nightmare Zone with this setup and this strength level for 5 hours, so you can get a rough idea of what XP you're going to get. But yeah. Once you've finished all your prayer potions and you can't rejuvenate your prayer anymore, you will die in Nightmare Zone, but you won't lose any of your items. Now once you've died, you'll get all your points and then you can go to the shop and spend them how you wish. However, I'd advise buying herb boxes. They only cost 9,500 points each, and each one roughly is worth 100k GP, because you can get lots of runner weeds from there, which is really helpful. However, if you don't fancy waiting around and just buying 15 of those a day, what you can do is buy lots of overloads, which are really helpful. Also imbue your ring, and then if you fancy doing a bit of rune crafting, buy rune essence, because you can always craft them for free, and also they can sell in the GE for a bit of money, which is quite nice. Alright then guys, I think that pretty much sums up Nightmare Zone, and I hope you found this quick short guide quite helpful and cleared a few things up for you. I know it can be quite difficult if you're pure. I don't think every guide is tailored to a 1 defense 43 pure, but hopefully you know now what quest you need to do, your inventory setup and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's basically it for this video. Make sure you guys check in again, subscribe, like, you know the deal. Hope you guys are all alright, and I will see you in the next video. Go on then, lad.